The 2010s marked the beginning of a wave of popularity for cryptocurrencies, a phenomena which began with the invention of Bitcoin in 2009. Bitcoin has arguably become the largest cryptocurrency in the last decade, mostly because of its decentralized peer-to-peer method of functioning, the anonymity it provides, and the sensationalism associated with its volatile price. But what Bitcoin and several other cryptocurrencies couldn't achieve was mass market adoption, a world where everyone uses cryptocurrencies for their day-to-day transactions. But as the technology powering cryptocurrencies and the public perception around them improves, they are transforming from a niche market to something that may be used by everyone in the coming years. However, there has been a lack of cryptocurrencies that can be easily used by the non-tech savvy population. And one of the first companies to enter this potentially gargantuan market was, very surprisingly, Facebook, with its very own cryptocurrency called Libra. At the time of its launch, Libra, or Diem as it's now called, was shaping up to be something truly revolutionary. And if it were to ever become successful, would allow Facebook to control the global financial system and become more powerful than most financial authorities that exist today. But after 2 years, the only thing to come out of Libra is some rudimentary experimental code and a rebranding. The simplest way to understand Diem would be to talk you through how using Diem would be like. So if you wanted to acquire some Diem, how would you do it? You could buy Diem from another person just like every other cryptocurrency, or you could buy them from an officially appointed Diem exchange, of which Facebook promises there will be many around the world. When you turn in your money in these exchanges, Facebook will initiate two processes. First, it will create brand new Diems they will give to you, and second, they will take your money and invest it into something which is known to hold its price well, like government bonds, gold, or stocks of big companies. Selling it would work in the same way but in reverse. You could sell your Diem to another person or to a Diem exchange, which will give you real money for your Diem and then proceed to destroy those Diem. The way Diem works gives it three powers that most cryptocurrencies don't have. Facebook controls how much Diem can exist at a moment, since they're the only ones who can create or destroy Libra, which basically turns Facebook into a central bank. Association controls the price of Diem at any given moment, and the association will have a reserve to make sure that they have enough money to pay back anyone who wants to take their money out of the system. This gives Diem a sort of trust and stability that most other cryptocurrencies don't have. Now that you have bought some Diem, you need some place to store it, which is what a Diem account is for. A Diem account would basically be a public and a private key, both of which are just very long strings of characters unique to each account. Facebook claims that these accounts would be pseudonymous, which means they won't be directly tied to your name or other private information. And now that you have Diem and Diem account, you can pay for stuff with it. But unlike Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which use a permissionless system, where anyone can validate transactions between two entities, all transactions involving Diem can only be validated by trusted authorities, which are of course the members of the Diem association. The way Diem is structured makes it a hybrid between a fiat currency, which is just traditional money like coins and cash, and a cryptocurrency, with all of the centralization of a fiat currency and the tech and ease of use behind a cryptocurrency. Now you might be thinking, how will Facebook take over the world's financial systems with Diem? The answer to that question lies in the implication of Diem and the power of Facebook. If Diem ever comes to market, which may never even happen due to the huge amount of government regulation and public scrutiny Diem has to pass through, but if it happens, Diem could make payments instantaneous across borders, reliably, securely, and at basically no cost for anyone connected to the internet, and also remove banks from the equation. Diem would also be a secure solution for storing money in countries where carrying cash is dangerous. It would save billions of dollars worldwide and give monetary security to poor people or to people living in countries undergoing hyperinflation, for example, Venezuela. Diem would also be built into every conceivable Facebook product, like Facebook Marketplace, WhatsApp, and Instagram Shopping, and into the apps of the companies that have joined the Diem association, which include giants like Lyft, Uber, Spotify, and a couple of other token charities. If everything goes according to plan, Diem could also become far superior than our current payment system. And if Facebook plays their cards just right, in some parts of Africa and Southeast Asia where Facebook is considered to be the internet, it completely replace their local currencies. But the way DM works is a double-edged sword. The centrality that gives Facebook power over every aspect of it may also be the reason why DM will never become successful. What makes cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin so valuable is the inherent freedom built into them. Anyone can join the network, make payments, and verify every single transaction that has ever been made on the Bitcoin. And even though it's got problems of its own, like money laundering and people paying for drugs and other illegal stuff, it's true personal freedom. DM, on the other hand, is completely centralized, and in the worst way possible. Instead of a federal bank or government authority over which people have at least some control, and which are at least theoretically designed to benefit everyone, DM is controlled by an association of mega rich corporations led by Facebook, which is accountable to only itself. In fact, it's way more powerful than any traditional central bank. It's headquartered in Switzerland. It can create and destroy its currency at its own will, as well as manipulate its own value, and is its own sole payment processor at least for the first few years of its existence. Although Facebook has taken steps to ensure customer privacy and accountability by making most of the code behind DM public, using pseudonymous keys and allowing anyone to make a wallet for DM and compete with Facebook's own wallet called Novi, what most people might miss is the fact that Novi had a head start over all other DM wallets and would collect all the data it possibly could, including KYCs and your spending habits. Critics are rightfully concerned over issues of privacy and how much control Facebook will have over DM. Things have gotten so bad that several companies left the association in an exodus after PayPal pulled out of the project in October 29, shortly following the Senate hearing of Facebook. DM's planned launch date of late 2020 has been delayed indefinitely and its future remains uncertain.